Seattle hockey fans. It is a Seattle Kraken game day. We are going to talk about a little bit of controversy circling the Seattle Kraken fan base. Not too many folks are excited that Philipp Grubauer will get the start again against Chicago. My question, what the heck else is Dave Hakstol supposed to do?
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
Hello, hockey fans. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken. I am your host, Erica Lindsay Ayala. As always, thank you for making Locked On Kraken one of your first listens of the day. As I mentioned in my open, let's get started with the fan base and the fandom being big mad that Philipp Grubauer is getting the start against Marc-Andre Fleury. First of all, let's just look at the numbers. And let me pull this up from NHL.com for you so we're all focusing on the right thing here. But we see here, when we look at the goalie matchups, Marc-Andre Fleury, a 3-7-0 record, goals against average 3.50 with a save percentage of .897. Grubauer, one more win, just as many losses, also has an OT loss, a 3.18 goals against average and .880 save percentage. Compare that to Chris Driedger. He just has the one game, the one full game, the one loss, a 3.43 goals against average and an .833 save percentage. I mean, the numbers are right there, folks. What the heck is Dave Hakstol supposed to do? Now, I've talked on the show before that I thought it was important to get Driedger some time. I did think that Gruby was looking out of sorts for one reason or another. Was it too much work? Was he feeling some discomfort? Was it a mental thing? I didn't know. That was a thing. It was happening. We talked about it on the show. I thought Gruby needed some rest. Wasn't sure if Driedger was good to go. But, I mean, the numbers, we need this win, folks. We need this win. So if Driedger gets the start, he gets a short leash. Gruby's getting the start. I think he probably also has a short leash. Maybe even put him back in there after he gets his mind right. But you have to start Philipp Grubauer. You have to start Philipp Grubauer. I'm with this 100%. Only other things that we know, it's still a little bit of a mix and match, it seems like, happening on the defensive end. Hayden Fleury is in, Carson Soucy out for this particular game against Chicago. I'm indifferent at best about that. I don't think our defense is great. I have talked what feels like weeks ago now about wanting to see Dave Hakstol commit to his guys, but nothing is working. So we're still throwing pasta on the wall, trying to see what sticks. I hate that that's the case, but that's exactly where we are right now. That's where we're at right now. And as a matter of fact, I was going to get into the stats before we head into this game, but I teased this on my Wednesday part 1, I guess, episode. Those of you who watched that one first, you know, a little bit of a tech issue. If you didn't watch that one first, you have no idea what I'm talking about, so don't worry about it. But the fantastic Jeff Baker, one of your beat writers for the Seattle Kraken, had what I think is just a fantastic article. As a matter of fact, you know, I teased on the other episode for today that if ever there was an episode that was tailor-made for Locked On Kraken because of what I rant about all of the time, it was this one. Can we just appreciate the headline? The Kraken have stumbled to a slow start in their first season. Is it reasonable to expect more? Well, yeah, it is reasonable to expect more. And I've grappled with this. I've talked about the fact that I was willing to give this team the benefit of the doubt for a wee bit of time in the first month. We are beyond that. Got my schedule up here. We are beyond the first month. Not to mention that my patience was wearing thin with the Seattle Kraken team because Seattle Kraken, you weren't even doing the things that you said that you built the team to do, specifically on the defensive side. So yeah, I think it's reasonable, but let's dive in, if you will, to what Jeff had to say. And again, I will leave this link for you. Let's start with a doozy, folks. The Kraken tail spinning towards the bottom of the NHL standing has sparked an interesting debate just more than 1 month into the team's first season. Namely, should our Kraken expectations be more akin to the previous sad sack NHL expansion teams before the Vegas Golden Knights came along 4 years ago? Now, that in and of itself is really interesting. You know, we've talked about it on the show before, and yes, everyone is going to focus on the Las Vegas Golden Knights, but not focus on the other examples of expansion teams. I've always said that I don't think the Seattle Kraken can, nor should they aspire for the Vegas Golden Knights. They need to first focus on what Seattle Kraken hockey is going to be. Now, I thought we were going to get a little bit more of a refined look at what that is at this point in the season, but here we are. So I thought it was interesting that Jeff Baker mentions that. And then he goes on to say right here, and that's why this whole argument about treating the Kraken like a typical expansion team is disingenuous. Life isn't a series of extremes, and expectations have middle ground. For one, the Kraken likely not playing for Lord Stanley's mug next season shouldn't automatically rule out expectations of them being a 500 team. And given the Kraken signed goalies Philipp Grubauer and Chris Driedger, who between them allowed roughly 2 goals a game last season, and then added solid defenders, the prospect of winning a bunch of 3-2 and 2-1 games remains absolutely reasonable. Sure, it remains reasonable. It also remains to be seen. And Eberle keeps talking about it. A few of the other guys are tacking on as well. Sure, if you want to just say, let's be a 500 team, let's aspire for average. Let's aspire to split sure, great. Let's do that. And I suppose there's nothing wrong with that because it is an expansion team. However, I don't even know if that goal is attainable until the Seattle Kraken clean up some things that just seem to be, I keep talking about it, it's just like absent-minded things. Sometimes you really just don't know what the heck is going on. I just don't know what the heck is going on with the Seattle Kraken. So, I mean, I don't know. And this is where it's this part of the article. I wanted to skip down to it. So, that is Jeff Baker goes, look, nobody wants to go about town putting up wanted posters for Grubauer, Jordan Eberle, Yanni Gourde, Jaden Schwartz, Mark Giordano, and anyone else in a Kraken uniform. They are just becoming known to local sports fans and as frustrated as anyone about the turn of events. But they are also not Pee-wee hockey players. They are a major professional sports team failing to meet base level expectations record-wise. Yes, exactly that. You can read the rest of Jeff's article. Let me know what you think about the article. Are you frustrated with what you're seeing? Do you think the Seattle Kraken are on track? Do we need to be more patient? That was a lot more than one question, but I want to know what you think because I was willing to give the team the benefit of the doubt. I was just as excited as everyone else. Release the Kraken Raw! I even remixed it and I was like, okay, team's not doing great, but you know what? We said release, now let's unleash, right? Let's unleash the beast within. Let this team figure out who they are. And I thought they did it. I thought they did it for a little bit there. And then I don't know what happened. And then we went in a wayward way. And here we are. Jeff Baker, thank you. Thank you for validating how I feel, for talking some real talk about the Seattle Kraken. Coming up next on Locked On Kraken, we are going to get into the stats. You know, I love to do the breakdown because I want to kind of know, predict and project not only where the Seattle Kraken have the advantage, if such a thing exists at this point with us being at the bottom of the barrel, but also where do they need to what points do they need to, at what points, I should say, do they need to emphasize some of the things that they continue to talk about? Not just the pucks in deep type stuff, but focus, good start, keeping their foot on the gas, minimizing mistakes, pushing, in this case, Chicago to the outside, not allowing high danger chances. I mean, I did that whole rant about what does it even mean if you're a defensive team that doesn't allow a lot of high danger chances, but then when you do allow the high danger chances, they're really bad. Like that just sounds like bad defense to me. Like I don't know why we're differentiating. You know, I can go off on defense. We're going to do it. Anyway, we're going to break down the stats and then, we're going to hear from. So coming up next, we're going to break down the stats for this particular game. But right now, let me tell you about Built Bar. You know, I love me some Built Bar. We've got the holidays coming up, and there's nothing greater than making sure that you are snacking healthy. It's really tough when Thanksgiving dinner isn't ready and all you want to do is eat, but you can't because, dinner isn't ready. So maybe you go for that extra slice of pie. Maybe you go get some fast food. And then, of course, you've got all these leftovers. So it's calories on calories on calories. Well, one way to keep your hunger, to keep your hangriness in control is to stock up on Built Bar. And the great thing is that throughout the entire month, Built Bar has a lot of different special surprises, limited time flavors arriving at built.com regularly. And we want you to get in on the action. This is a protein bar that is absolutely delicious. It's low calorie, low carb, low fat, high protein, and 100% chocolate drizzled all on that thing. I love it. There's nothing like also Built Bar for Black Friday. Make sure that you are staying in the game when it comes to getting the best deals and you keep your energy up with your favorite protein bar, Built Bar. So if you go to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15, you'll get 15% off your next order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Happy snacking. Folks, you guys really don't want Grubauer? Who the heck else are we going to put in net? Who else are we going to put in net? You got to go with Gruby. Do I like it? No. I mean, listen, we're going to have to save that for another day because I really just don't have much to offer by way of what we should or shouldn't do goaltending wise. But maybe we'll find out. I saw something, there's already these trade rumors. Are the Kraken going to let go of Gio? Is Chicago going to let go of Fleury? I mean, I don't know, but you've got two Vezina contenders going head to head tonight. Goaltending is not the major issue. I think we do need to shore up defense. But at this point, if you're going to keep the roster the same, I guess you kind of need a goaltender that's going to be, standing on their head, out of control, out of this world. Fleury has been that. Not similarly, but conversations about Grubauer and Fleury both flutter, if you will, in the space of, well, what version are you going to get? I don't know. Everyone, of course, likes the story of Fleury potentially I don't know. I know I'm going on a rant here. I just had a stream of consciousness about goaltending, but let's get into what I really want to talk about, which of course is the stats. All right. So goals by period. You see that the Seattle Kraken right now, they're starting to even up. So they score the most in the second and third period. They give up the most goals as of right now before this game in the third period. On the other end of things, the Chicago Blackhawks are more or less even across the board, but they can score in the third. So that's not great for the Seattle Kraken. That's when they give up the most goals. The Blackhawks give up goals early. That's also not great for the Seattle Kraken because we don't score early. So something's got to give there. And here's hoping it ends up on our side of things. Power play. The Chicago Blackhawks have a power play that's 15th overall in the National Hockey League. We, of course, have not exactly the last, but pretty close to the worst power play in the league. We finally got that number over into double digits, I should say, and above 10%. But at home, we're not great on the power play at home. The Chicago Blackhawks on the road have the 6th overall power play on the road. Ooh, again, not great. Overall, the Chicago Blackhawks have the 3rd best penalty kill, whereas we have the 20th best. The Blackhawks are better at the kill on the PK at home than they are on the road. But either way, their PK is better than the Seattle Kraken. So those are a few stats that we get, of course, from the Seattle Kraken. Another thing, and I don't always do this, but maybe some things to consider that will maybe make you feel better going into tonight. Here are some game notes. Hot against Chicago. Colin Blackwell has recorded a point, 1 goal or 1 assist in each of the 2 games he has played against Chicago. Not a really great sample size, but I guess we'll take it at this point. Jonas Donskoy, Yanni Gourde, Yarncrook, McCann are just a few other. Now, it's actually Schwartz that has the best points streak, 5 points, 5 points, 8 assists in his last 12 games against the Chicago Blackhawks. So looking for Jaden Schwartz. By the numbers, here are the players that should perform well against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, obviously, their team's a little bit different, but, this is what we got to go by. Jaden Schwartz, Yanni Gourde, 10 points in his last 7 games against Chicago, 6 goals and 4 assists. Jonas Donskoy, 9 points in his last 8 games against the Chicago Blackhawks. So Schwartz, Gourde, and Donskoy. It would be great to see Donskoy get involved. Yarncrook, 5 points. Not bad. Entering tonight's game, Alex Wenberg has a 5-game point streak going on. He has 7 points overall. That's 1 goal and 6 assists in his last 5 games. So looking to fix that. Setting the pace. 15 games into the season, 8 Kraken skaters are on pace to set a new career high in scoring. Now, this is interesting. I talked about this, that we needed some forwards to outperform their former selves, the past iteration of what we've seen from them. And even though everything's not great, we do see that there are some players that are on pace. It includes Donato, Fleury, Geeky, Lazan, I always want to say Lausen, Lazan, McCann, Alexiak, Turbo Tanev, and Wenberg. So we'll see. We'll see what that all means for today. So those are a few stats going into the game. Coming up next, just 3 things I'll give you 3 things that I need to see from the Seattle Kraken if they have a chance to get into the win column against Chicago. But for now, let me tell you about BetOnline.ag. It's back and better than ever with a new web interface for the start of basketball season. Regardless of the new technology, BetOnline remains your number one spot for basketball and football action this season. So head to the new website, and when you sign up for the first time, you will receive a 50% welcome bonus when you use promo code LOCKEDON. Remember, that's promo code Locked On for a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Whether we're talking basketball, football, NHL, of course, or even your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is, of course, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. And Let's talk about starts. One of my key takeaways for the Seattle Kraken is a strong start. I just ran through let me pull it up again for you. I just ran through the numbers, okay? The Seattle Kraken need to score early. And if they can get the momentum going, you heard Turbo talk about it. I can actually play that clip for you again, but Turbo talked about it. I played it on an earlier episode that went up also today, but get started early, man.
Yeah, I mean, our head's at Chicago. We play tomorrow. We play the Blackhawks tomorrow. It's a big 2 points. We're in front of our home crowd, and we want to get off to the right start.
Turbo talks about getting hits to do it. I've talked already on this show. I don't think hits is a great stat. Is it a momentum builder? Perhaps. But if you're so focused on getting hits, are you focused on winning the game? I don't know. But that's my first takeaway. Get started early. That's what I want to see. You got to see it from the Seattle Kraken. You've got to see them take the game under their control. Stop reacting to the game. That's number 2. Stop reacting to what the other team is doing. I honestly think that some of these, we talked about players that are on pace. Some of the reason that they are even on pace, and, we also have to factor in that the last 2 seasons have been very different from what we usually see. But we have to factor in that the Seattle Kraken, they kind of have to score a lot to even be remotely in games because they're giving up so many goals. And so I like the fact that there's potential there to score lots of goals, but it burns my grits. All right. I went to school in North Carolina. Hello, Charlotte Checkers, shout out. It burns my grits that the Seattle Kraken cannot harness that energy, right? Let's go Turbo time. They can't harness that energy to do what I said for point number 1. Is get a good start. The other point is, and although I don't agree with questioning whether Grubauer should start, I do 100% hear you in saying that Gruby, you got to show up, bruh. You got to show up, because that you're going to get some shots against you that you probably shouldn't get. If we go off of what we've seen from this Seattle Kraken team, you're going to put in some work that you probably shouldn't have to put in. That being said, know your role. You got to show up, bro. I want you to get mean. I want you to get people out of your space. I need you talking to your team, bro, I need you over here. Bro, what would you do? Don't leave me out there hanging like that. You know what I'm saying? I need to see you. Come on. You gotta take control of this, man. You gotta take control, bro. I'm sorry that you gotta do that, but it has to happen. Groovy, it has to happen. And you know what? But Grubauer is not the only one. I've talked about leadership. I love that piece that Allison Lucan put out. I'm waiting on someone to be flip table kind of, you know what? I shouldn't say that because, I need someone on this team to get as worked up as I do about defense, but to bring that energy. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. Obviously, I'm not in the locker room. I'm not even in Seattle right now. I'm not in the locker room. But whatever the message is, it's not seeping in. And yeah, you got to give people time, but somebody's got to wake. Sometimes you just need a jolt. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need a jolt. Do you need to dance it out? All right, Grey's Anatomy dance party. Do you need to just like scream, let it all out? I don't know, but sometimes you got to have a players only meeting and like just talk real talk and be like, this hurt my feelings when you don't cover the weak side post. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do know because I've been an athlete, but I don't know what that version is for the Seattle Kraken, but that needs to happen. So, it's an addendum to part 3. Like, Grubauer, you have to take control of your net. Take control. Take control. You got to do it. Come on. Got to do it. And you know what? Other people should be supporting you too. I've talked about it before. Sometimes you need the Candace Parker. We're all right. We're all right. I honestly think there's been a little bit too much of that. But you know what Candace Parker will also do? Candace Parker from the championship winning Chicago Sky. Candace Parker also knows what buttons to push and to pull people to the side and say, you see how this is happening? You need to do X, Y, Z. I need you to notice this sooner. Because if we're not noticing this promptly, we're exposed. You got to break down the game during the game. I want to see more. I guess what I'm saying is I want to see more communication. What do you want to see? I've told you a few things that I want to see, including the big thing, leadership. And that's not just tonight. That has to happen. Unfortunately, I just am not seeing evidence that there's enough leadership or effective leadership right now. Sometimes you got to be, I don't want to say impolite, or I don't want to say you got to be mean or not nice about it, but you have to be effective. And right now, from coaching to leadership on the players' side of things, I don't know that whatever they're doing is as effective as they need it to be. That's our show, folks. I will come back online after the game and recap what we've seen. As always, you can follow me at elindsay08. That's where I be. And then, of course, you can follow the show at Locked On Kraken. I threw a lot of things at you. Grubauer, need you to buck up, bro. Let's go. Seattle Kraken need a strong start. There's just a lot to talk about. We're going to have plenty to talk about throughout the rest of the week. I think I got the kinks with the live stream and the internet connectivity figured out. So hopefully we're good to go there. But as always, thank you for making Locked On Kraken one of your listens of the day. And until tomorrow, as we always say in the depths, hold fast, stay true, and oh yeah, let's go Kraken.